Hi, and welcome again to today's market analysis edition for today, October the 18th. I'm Giovanni Betancourt, analyst, trader, and educator with Vantage Markets. Well, this year the markets have been overrun by discussions about inflation. Have prices reached their peak? Core or headline, is the Fed responding too tough to lagging indicators? It turns out there is a second half to this narrative, one that could play out over a longer time period and be an even bigger source of pain for stocks and bonds. Just when you were probably getting tired of it all, stagflation is the dreaded S word. This is deeply underappreciated risk markets, one that threatens to produce an era of negative returns. This year's market sell-off has been precipitated in part by rising inflation. The S&P 500 is now 25% below where it was in January. However, those investors are underestimating the risk of inflation becoming ingrained in the economy, which will bring more headwind to stocks and bonds. Some market bulls have pointed to easing inflationary pressures, which could fuel a rally before year end. Markets are neglecting the fact that we are increasingly at risk of returning to prolonged 1970 style stagflationary dynamics, which will require an even larger interest rate response. If the experience of the 1970s repeats, investors are in for a prolonged period of negative real returns for both bonds and equities. So, with that being said, yesterday we did see the market rally. It completely did a nice move to the upside. It it, it recovered the 11,000 psychological resistance level, which is now is trading above that. So now it turns out to become a support now. But the market is actually looking to come out and take out the that high that it created, back in October 5th. So we are looking for the market to come back up to 11,500, which is where my pivot point is. The RSI is neutral, so it's still a lot of space for it to reach, and perhaps once it reaches the 11,500, which now it's a resistance, we could probably see that resistance at 11,725 to be where the bulls may find some sellers around this area. So keep that in mind. Now we have obviously also the S&P 500 doing the same movement to the upside as the Nasdaq. Is trading right above our pivot point. I have my resistance at 3,816, right around that number. Now, crude oil has been quite quiet. In reality, it's really been traded in a very narrow channel. RSI is neutral. So will we see crude oil come down to $83 and test that? That's probably the case. That we'll probably see that later on today. What the Nat Gas has really been steady, really low volume in it. That gap wasn't closed. It did trade lower. It hit our support where it bounced from it. The RSI is in the oversold territory, so we could probably see. I would assume, and I would speculate that Nat Gas will be fluctuating above our support level and just stay there for a little while until something really breaks and whether it tanks to take out the July low of 530, or will it climb back up to the pivot of 650. There's now gold is really also being quiet. RSI is neutral, so I will assume for this market to continue consolidation stage, ranging around the pivot of 1,650. Then we have silver. Silver is trying to come back up to the pivot of $19 and stay around there. Let's see if that happens. Then we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin has really been moving higher gradually, uh, just really on the back of Mastercard, coming out talking about that they're going to support transactions. They're going to help banks be able to offer their clients crypto trading. So that's going to be something that is going to be helping regulators and clients to be able to trade with cryptos. Mastercard. Then we have the euro. Euro is looking to come back up to parity. It's still 2 cents away from it, but in forex that's a long way. So we need to first reach the 0.99 resistance level, and that will likely happen. And then the pound is really looking to stay above the 113. I would assume that the pound is going to really be consolidating above 113, below 114. Now the U.S. dollar index has broken that psychological support of 112. Is trading lower. 111,500 will be my next support. I'm looking really for dollar index to retrace some more, and I'm looking for it to come back to 109. How soon will that happen? That's the whole key. But I think it will be. I think by the year end, we'll see. We'll have the dollar index at around these levels. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. Have a nice one, and I'll see you tomorrow.